howdy, partner. You want to talk? Just go ahead. You seem happy.
The Cowboys signed Dakota Prescott to a long-term deal. 4 years, $160 million. What is it? $126 million guaranteed?
I don't know the exact numbers.
Largest amount of guaranteed money in NFL history. And he's getting paid $75 million in his first year. That's it. What are your thoughts on that, Sam?
Well, didn't you tell me that the $75 million was fake news? Didn't you tell me it only like 20-something counting against the cap?
No. God. No, this is where I'm getting sick of Cowboys fans on Facebook. It's $75 million. Only $22 million is being used against the cap, though.
Okay.
Which is saving $15 million. Because if we didn't sign Dak, we were going to franchise tag him. Like, that was inevitable. We saved $15 million with that. So if I hear someone saying it was a horrible financial decision, because next year we can pay him $18 million against the cap. That's how this deal can work. We played it smarter than people think.
That is the Cowboy report. Look, you made the right choice. You paid the man.
Yeah.
Look, people, there will be trolls on the internet bringing up the ankle. They're going to say it's going to take him time, all of that stuff. And yeah, maybe it will. But here are the facts. Before Dak Prescott got hurt, he was on pace for historic yards. He was on pace for over 6,000 yards passing. He can move. You give him a competent defense, and this man will carry you to an NFC Championship game, bare minimum. I'm saying this as somebody who has made Joe Kane literally roll in anger because I trashed the Cowboys. Part of it, maybe it's an act. The other part of it, look, yes, Dallas has high expectations all the time, and they don't always fulfill them. But Dak Prescott is one player. Dak Prescott is one player over the last couple seasons who has lived up to expectation, especially last year. You can say what you want last season about the Cowboys being bad and whatever. It wasn't Dak Prescott's fault. It was in spite of how good Dak Prescott was. So I think you made the right decision, especially in an NFL where the quarterback market is tight and obviously quarterbacks want more and more money.
It's getting more expensive, I'll tell you that.
Look, would I rather have Dak Prescott for a lot of money or Andy Dalton on the cheap? I think you know my answer. I'd rather have the dude who was on pace to throw 6,000 yards, especially when your defense isn't good.
Yeah. Would you rather have Dak Prescott or Trey Lance? Dak. Easy
money.
I don't trust anyone from NDSU anymore.
Personally,
why would I?
I'm not a huge Lance guy. That's just me. I know people will come at me for that, but I need to see it in the NFL before I'm like, I believe it.
And this is not paying him as a player alone. This is playing him for his character too. He is one of the best guys in the NFL these days. It didn't used to be like that. He used to be the most hated player. It feels like sometimes. Now he's probably the most loved. Also, that is another thing. Hardest position to play in the NFL alone, Cowboys quarterback.
I think you are exposed to the most scrutiny if you were the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. I think that's
because you have to live up to people like, oh my God, Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, and Tony Romo.
They're all pretty good. They're not Tom Brady, but they're all pretty good.
Yeah, okay. And then you get this guy, Dak Prescott, who just comes in the third round.
I think you're right on that.
Yeah, third round. And he just moseys down to Dallas. And you see one of the best people in the city right away. His leadership has been compared to that of Tom Brady's, which I think is his best factor because it's definitely not that throwing arm. You have to agree with that.
One man wins. That's all I got to say. Keep going.
Yeah, sure. His leadership, and that is the most important quality in a quarterback because you are the leader of your team.
100%.
First and foremost. if you can't lead, you're not going to go anywhere. I said this to you already, but when I look at Dak, I'm paying that guy $35 million for the player he is, and then $5 million for the character. Like, that's how I see it. And that's what we did. $40 million a year is good. It's great for him. And yeah.
Look, I think my thing on Dak Prescott is I fully agree on that. I think I even sent you the DM with that. His leadership ability is phenomenal, and it's not just on the field. I mean, he obviously has the organization he like created for, I believe it was suicide awareness and everything that happened with his brother. And I mean, Dak Prescott has been through so much in his life, and he's soldiered through it, and he's been a better person and player because of it. Not because of it, but despite it, I should say. I think that has, like, the fact that he could perform at the level he did before he got hurt last year after going through all of that is ridiculous. I think it shows you what kind of person and like character you get off the field. Somebody who can soldier through everything and still produce in a sport. I mean, like people gave him hate when he wasn't playing as well, maybe last year, the year before, but like with everything he's been through, he comes up last year and has such a great opening to his season, and he didn't show signs of slowing down. Like, I think that there's not enough good stuff I can say about Dak Prescott, and that's coming from somebody who can say plenty of bad stuff about the Dallas Cowboys. So, like, I think that it's a great signing. I think that he soldiered through everything in his life, and he totally deserves every penny of the money he's making. And people are going to hate on that. Look, there's a million other reasons why that Cowboys team wasn't good last year. Like I don't want to hear it, I guess is what I'm saying. I think that he is a legitimately great quarterback. I think he's not elite just yet. We've had that debate, obviously, but he could certainly get there. And if he had continued that form last season that he started winning games, we're having a different conversation. So I think you deserve to give him that money and give him a chance, given just what he's done.
First of all, definite top 8, like
no question
right now.
No question whatsoever.
I personally put him in front of Josh Allen right now.
It's very close. It's very close. I think he's done it over a longer period of time than Josh Allen.
Yeah. But so I know you have
him over Brady. At least right now, but some people wouldn't.
Like, okay, I will give Brady the leadership because he is the GOAT on that. I mean, people come to him. I can see people like wanting to like play with Dak, but I also think that has like, the star has a thing to do with it too, like to come to Dallas and play for that.
Yeah.
But I want to think it's Dak. I want to think he has like the same similar pool that Tom Brady has, but I know it's probably not true.
On the field, his natural ability is better. I think, look, he's not prime Brady by any stretch of the imagination, but he is very, very good. And I think Tom Brady, despite how he's been good, he isn't what he used to be. We've had these conversations. I think Dak Prescott currently is a better quarterback than Brady. Obviously not all time, but I think that Tom Brady, look, we talk about he's still phenomenal. I think Brady's still objectively top 10, but I lean Dak personally.
Okay, I know you have a question about them contending in the NFCs. Do you mind if I add one thing in between quickly?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Because I am a huge fan of 105.3 The Fan, and I was listening to them today, and I heard some interesting talk about Dak Prescott because that's been going on all week. And why wouldn't it? It's a Cowboys radio station, but people seem to be comparing Dak Prescott to Peyton Manning, and the fact that they think he could be like a player to carry a team to the Super Bowl, like Peyton Manning did with the 23rd ranked defense in 2006. Because I don't see the Cowboys fixing their like 30th ranked defense to a top 10 anytime soon. And like we all know, like you're more likely to win a Super Bowl if you make the playoffs. You're more likely to win with the top 10 defense. Most teams do it that way. They're like very few cases, and we've already talked about this before, of teams winning without a top 10 defense. One of those cases is Peyton Manning. So, like, my question is, what do you think about, like, do you think he can carry a team like Peyton Manning did back in 06?
Dak,
With
the defense needs to get a little better. I think,
of course, it's ranked 30th right now. I think that's
look, in the NFC with how many good teams are there, I'm going to lean towards no, at least at the moment. I think Dak Prescott also, look, you can say your questions about the ankle and everything. You're coming back from a major injury. You haven't, like, he's going to be rusty coming back. I think there's no one disputing that. I think he'll still be a phenomenal quarterback. So I don't really have questions there long term. Look, also part of it is that offense is so great in terms of the weapons. I mean, he kept them in every game he played in. But in terms of getting them over the hump, I haven't seen that yet. So I'm going to lean no, just because the Packers are still a force. The Bucs are still a force. Like, there are a lot of teams that can still make noise outside of the NFC East. So the way the league is currently constructed, I lean towards no. But that comes with the caveat that Dak Prescott's still a pretty young guy. He's been getting better every year. And who knows? If the NFC maybe loosens up a bit, maybe the Bucs aren't as good as we expect. Maybe the Packers take a step back. Maybe Rodgers has more of a down year than he had this year. Obviously, it was an MVP season. Possibly. I mean, I just, for me, it's like the way everything's set up right now, I don't say that. Despite how good he is. And that's the thing, right? If I were to say yes, that would be me calling him elite. And I just don't, he hasn't pushed teams over the hump just yet.
I'll give you that. But when he does, how will your answer change?
If he would have, okay, here's what I'll say, right? If he had won that Seahawks game, if he wins that Rams game, if 2019 he wins that Eagles game with despite the injuries, or that Saints game where it's close and it's a knockdown slugfest and they just don't win despite having opportunities to do so late. He wins some of those games next year. Yes. Like I think we've had that talk. Like, when you have the ball on the final drive, you need to come through. Dak had a couple opportunities on final drives last year that didn't work out the best. Yes, there was the worst OPI call of the year potentially with the Gallup play on Ramsey. But against Seattle, he obviously threw the pick on 4th down. Like, I just need to see that extra look. I need to see the extra Peyton Manning, Tom Brady level where late in games you're pulling through and you're showing you're king of the final drive. If and when Dak Prescott does that, that's when my answer changes.
Oh, hey, if you like watching this video, then watch the last video right here. And if you like the video, then subscribe by clicking this button right here.